Problems at KFC. Doing plant shutdowns was the bread and butter for much of my contracting business. I had performed many of them and got good at it. Due to the many shutdowns happening at the same time, it was necessary to jump back and forth between job sites. We had just finished a job in Bloomington, Illinois, and we were to start a new one in Lexington, Kentucky. It was about a 5-hour drive to Lexington. We collected our tools and loaded the trailer. My son, who was home from college for the summer, was helping me. We climbed in the truck and decided it would be a good idea to pick up some KFC to eat on the way, just so we didn't have to stop. I had pulled through the drive-thru before with my trailer and had no problem. It was close, but doable, or so I thought. It was right at 5 p.m. The line was rather long, but we made our way in. Because of the traffic, I had a tight corner to make. It never occurred to me that the tight conditions of turning changes the trajectory of where the trailer is following you. We were getting closer and were just 2 cars short of placing our order, when the car ahead of us pulled forward, and as I pulled up, I heard a loud noise. My truck came to a halt. I got out of the truck and saw the trailer had run into a concrete wall on one side and a post on the other. I wasn't too concerned until I tried to back it up. It was stuck so tight that I could only spin my wheel. It was rush hour with plenty of cars behind me. They began to honk and holler. I was being called names that I never ever heard before. I sucked it up, went car to car, and told them I was going to unhook from the trailer, go around the building, and back up. I planned to hook onto the trailer with a chain and pull it backward to get it unstuck. It seemed simple to me. It would have been if they would have parked where they could and make room for those who wanted to leave. It took just a couple of minutes, and it turned into a complete cluster. The quarters were tight, and no one would give up any room so others could leave. We disconnected the truck from the trailer, drove around the building. By this time, people were getting extremely anxious and furious. They were honking and screaming at me as well as other drivers who wouldn't get out of their way. I had no choice but to force my way in each time I approached a car. I would get out of the truck and direct traffic. I kept telling them I'd get the trailer out of the way just as soon as they got out of the way. It must have taken at least 45 minutes to get those people to give me room. What was baffling to me was why they wouldn't park where they could, walk inside, and get their chicken and leave. To the best of my memory, I never saw one person do this. Of course, the line kept getting longer and longer. By this time, the manager was out there telling me to get that trailer off his site, but doing nothing to help. I finally got the truck positioned with enough room to back it up to the trailer. We got out a chain and hooked it securely to the back of the trailer. I put the truck in gear, but the trailer would not budge. We lengthened the chain, backed up to the trailer, and quickly moved ahead with a little wallop. It freed the trailer, but it was now about 10 feet from the truck. We were on an incline, and the trailer rolled backwards and slammed into the tailgate of my truck. We checked, there was no real damage, but now the dilemma. Just how were we going to unhook the trailer and keep the trailer from rolling further backwards? But now the dilemma. Just how were we going to unhook that truck and keep the trailer from rolling further behind? We got back on the trailer and found 2 things that would work for chocks under the tires. We did so and unhooked the trailer from the truck. We wanted to drive around it and rehook it to the hitch. Well, people in hell want ice water too. Just as soon as we unhooked and drove away, the trailer rolled over the chocks, down the hill, missing parked cars and slamming into a fence, finally making a resting place. Doing so finally made the entire drive accessible to the public. Although people had plenty to say out their windows as they drove past, I can't really blame them. We backed the truck up to the hitch on the trailer, but the trailer tongue was too high and was stuck on the fence. During all the jerking and rolling, the cargo had all shifted to the rear, making it almost impossible to pull down. Once again, we got on in the toolbox and found a come-along. We attached it to the tongue of the trailer and the hitch on the truck. We pulled and cranked, and finally causing the trailer tongue to come down. Once past the apex, it became manageable, and we hooked up. We rearranged the load on the trailer to make it ride decent for the next few hours. All this took over 2 hours. It was now after 7, and we still had 5 hours left to drive, and without a bite to eat. KFC was mad, customers were mad, and my son was mad. I don't know whether he was mad or really embarrassed. Other than that, it was another one of those learning experiences. We made it to Lexington, completed our work, and made it home safely.